Between a wide back, thick upper chest, and capped shoulders, which one actually builds that sharp V-taper? Yeah, I already know what you picked, but hitting them blind is exactly why your frame looks blocky instead of V-shaped, even when you're grinding every set. Let me fix that. There's a simple blueprint to unlock maximum width and perfect proportions. It's not about packing on more size. It's about placing muscle exactly where your eyes expect it. Now that we know the goal, the real question is, what's the exact ratio your brain is actually scanning for? Let's follow the numbers and find out. Here's the truth. Aesthetics isn't about being the biggest guy in the room. It's about the shape you create. Your brain doesn't scan for raw size. It scans for balance. And there's a sweet spot science keeps pointing to. Your shoulders should be about 1.6 times wider than your waist. That's the magic number. Not random, not just genetics. It's the same ratio you see in Greek statues, superhero costumes, and every physique that makes people stop and look. You might think, okay, so I just need bigger shoulders. But here's what they don't tell you. It's not just about adding mass. It's about adding width in the right place. Because when your side delts pop, your waist instantly looks tighter, even if you haven't lost a single pound. Same body, better proportions. That's the illusion we're building. This is exactly what happens to your frame the second you stand in front of the mirror after a solid shoulder session. Your silhouette shifts. You look sharper, more athletic, more intentional. That's the power of width. Drop a fire in the comments if you've ever felt that post-workout confidence spike. I read every single one. Now that we've locked in the ratio, the real question is, which muscle actually creates that width faster than anything else? Let's follow the signal to the #1 aesthetic builder and find out.
All right, let's talk about the king of width, your side delt. Not the front, not the rear, the side. Because when this muscle grows, your entire frame expands instantly. Same waist, wider shoulders. Boom, your V-taper just leveled up. You might think heavier weight equals faster results, but here's what they don't tell you. Lateral raises aren't about moving weight from A to B. They're about lighting up one small strip of muscle. And if you swing, if you shrug, if you ego lift, you're stealing the work from the exact fiber that builds width. So let's clear this up. Go light, stay controlled, lead with your elbows, not your hands. Imagine you're pouring water out of 2 pitchers at the top. That tiny burn you feel around rep 12, that's not fatigue. That's the signal we're after. That's your side delt saying, yeah, I'm growing. This is exactly what happens to your shoulders the second you nail that clean rep. The muscle fires deep, not superficial. You feel it on the side, not your traps, not your neck, just pure, targeted width. Training at home? No problem. Grab a resistance band, step on it, same motion, same cue. Elbows lead, slow down on the way back. Suddenly, that band feels like a secret weapon. Now that we've unlocked the width, the real question is, what creates that sharp shelf on top that makes your chest look carved, not flat? Let's follow the angle to the upper chest and find out. Now, let's talk about the shelf. Not just any chest, the upper chest. Because here's the thing, you can bench heavy forever and still end up with a chest that looks flat, like it's melting south. Not aesthetic, not sharp. You might think more weight on flat bench equals bigger chest, but here's what they don't tell you. The upper chest fibers run at an angle. Hit them straight on and you're missing the target. The sweet spot? Incline, 30 to 45 degrees. That's where the magic happens. Dumbbells, barbell, machine, doesn't matter. Set the angle. Feel the stretch at the bottom. Drive up with control. Squeeze at the top like you're trying to touch your collarbones together. That burn right under your clavicle, that's the signal. That's your upper chest waking up.
This is exactly what happens to your silhouette the second that muscle fills in. Your chest doesn't just look bigger, it looks lifted, defined, like armor, not flab. Training at home? Elevate your push-ups. Feet on floor, hands on a sturdy bench or couch. Same angle, same cue, same result. Comment below, have you ever felt that upper chest burn on rep 8? Your story helps someone else push through. Now that we've built the shelf, the real question is, what creates the dramatic sweep down your back that makes your waist look razor thin? Let's follow the pull to the lats and find out. Now, let's talk about the engine that ties it all together, your lats. If side delts build the width, lats build the sweep. There would turn your back into a sharp reverse triangle. And here's where most guys drop the ball. You might think heavy swinging pull-ups or max weight rows will blast them out, but here's the truth. Pull with your hands and your biceps steal the work. Your lats? They just watch. So let's clear this up. Vertical pulls only. Pull-ups, lat pull-downs, even a high anchored band. The cue isn't pull down, it's drive your elbows down to your hips. Imagine you're trying to tuck your elbows into your back pockets. Feel that deep stretch at the top? Control it down. Slow. No momentum. This is exactly what happens to your frame the second those lats fill in. Your waist instantly looks tighter. Same belt notch, same body, but your whole silhouette shifts, like you just stepped into a sharper version of yourself. Training at home? A simple pull-up bar or a door anchor works. Same angle, same elbow drive, same result. Now that we've built the width up top and carved the V-base down below, remember that early promise about the 1.6 ratio? Here's how it actually locks in. Because all that width means nothing if it's buried under a soft layer. Let's talk about the activation key that makes this muscle actually show.
All right, we've built the width, we've carved the shelf, we've locked in the V-base. But here's the hard truth. If that muscle is buried under even a thin layer of softness, it stays hidden. What if you spent months nailing every rep we just covered, but your physique still doesn't pop? That's the moment most guys quit. They think the blueprint failed, but the blueprint was perfect. The missing piece, the activation key. And that key is simple. Get lean. Not extreme, not starve yourself. Just drop your body fat to that sweet spot, 10 to 14%. That's where your shoulders look wider, your waist looks tighter, your V-taper finally unlocks. So how do you actually get there without losing your mind or your muscle? Let's keep it stupid simple. First, walk. Aim for 10K steps. Start where you are. 3K? Cool. Build up. Walking burns calories without wrecking your hunger or your recovery. It just works. Second, protein. 1.6 to 2 grams per kilo of body weight. That's it. Protein keeps you full, protects your muscle, and more muscle means you burn more calories, even while you're scrolling. Third, know your numbers. Track your calories for just 2 weeks, not forever, just long enough to see what you're actually eating. Then weigh yourself every morning. Look at the weekly average, that's your compass. If it's not moving, adjust. Simple. But here's the real secret. Build systems, not motivation. Motivation fades faster than your pump after leg day. Systems, though, they run on autopilot. Meal prep on Sunday, walk after dinner, hit your protein first. Small habits, big results. Remember that question at the start? Blocky versus V-shaped? Now you have the blueprint. Not luck, not genetics, just width in the right places paired with the leanness that lets it shine. If this changed how you see your next workout, the next video breaks down the exact 3-move shoulder finisher that caps your delts in half the time. Tap here to keep going, or drop a comment. What's the one muscle you're focusing on this week? Your answer might be the push someone else needed.